How's it going, boys and girls? And welcome back to the Yellow Bus Guy Garage. I got something a little bit historic for you today. This is a American Junior Fireball designed by a man named Jim Walker. And Jim Walker is responsible for bringing U-control or control line flying to the public. Up until his design, this particular airplane, everything was free flight, rubber band and glow and gas, and you set them up and you just toss it, and they have a limited run. They climb and circle, and then hopefully you got it back. Um, in the summer of 1940, he came to the Nationals with an example of this airplane and flew it. And the first time the public had seen a U control airplane, and up until then, there was some limited, very, very limited radio control. And most planes at the time were stick built and very involved to build one. It's very difficult, and it took a great deal of skill and patience. And with the introduction of this kit became available to the public in 1940, the actual design phase and development began in 1937. So by 1940, they were ready to. They had begun kitting this plane, and he introduced it at the Nationals in 1940. And what makes this plane unique is that it came largely pre-built, meaning that the fuselage halves, which is, as you can see here, is made out of solid balsa. And what they did, they took balsa blanks and they used automated equipment and carved the shape of the fuselage, not including the tail there. And the fuselage bottoms are the same way. Everything's held together with rubber bands. This fuselage bottom, and it's all done on automated equipment. And the wing parts, the wing sheets. See, it's a built-up wing sheeted in balsa, but all the major parts came pre-cut. You just had to assemble and finish it, which made it unique at the time, which put modeling into the reach of everybody. You didn't have to be a master builder to be able to build. And the U control or control line was revolutionary at the time. And you could fly anywhere, and there was less risk of losing your airplane. And one of the big benefits of this is, with all the major components being held together with rubber bands, if you crashed it, the rubber bands would pop and save the components of your airplane. You didn't wind up with a bag of sticks at the end of the day, and made it easier for people to learn how to fly. And truly revolutionary. And this has brought model aviation to the public. And here you can see the hollow nature. It's all solid balsa from one end to the other. I've never seen a piece of balsa big enough to be able to carve something like this. It's really remarkable. And there's a control horn for the elevator. And this is just solid balsa sheet. Everything rubber bands together. And my father built this one sometime between 1945, when he got out of the Army, and 1950, I'm thinking. I did some research, and this particular engine in this is a Forster 29. And from what I can tell in my research, the Forster brothers built two different versions of this engine. And this appears to be an earlier version. 1940 is when the Forster brothers came out with the 29. And it had the straight carbureted, or the straight intake. And the exhaust port, see, has an aerofoil shape to it, which is really cool looking. And then 1950, they came out with a new model, the G, and the intake horn is angled upward, and this is rectangular. So I'm thinking this is an earlier version. So this particular motor is engine is between 1940 and 1950. I can't verify exactly when it was produced. And made good power at the time and very popular. Cost $14 new. And this kit in 1940 was $7.50. That was a lot of money back in the day, but it kind of gives you an idea of how things were. The fuel tank is interesting. It's metal and tapered to the side, so as the plane flew in a circle, The centrifugal force pushed the fuel to this side of the tank, and the pickup is in here, and on this side of the tank. So you got all your fuel. Here's your fueling line, and then you have a fuel line that runs up to the carburetor. There's no throttle on these. You started it and you adjusted the speed with the needle and got it to where you wanted, and it ran until it ran out of fuel. And I believe these use like 30-foot lines, 30 or 40-foot lines. So here's the, I don't know how well this is going to pick up the control wires. As you see, as you move the handle, it would move this bell crank, which moved the control push rod, which controlled the elevator. It's all very simple. But yeah, my dad built this plane, like I said, somewhere between 1945 and I'm going to say 1955. I'm thinking it's probably before 1950 because of the engine, since the engine is an earlier run. But I inherited this from my father when he passed, and I found a source for the canopy. The canopy was heat damaged years ago. The plane was put in an attic, and the heat got to it and then melted the canopy and ruined it. But other than that, it's all complete, all original paint, motor, and everything. And I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to hang it up and display it in my shop. So I thought you guys might enjoy seeing this. And then later on, next video is going to be on another control line model. And this one is designed and built by my father. And pretty exciting. And we'll look at that one next. Thanks for coming around. Like, subscribe, ask me some questions, and fly safe, y'all. Catch you later.